Time to talk about my favourite subject, the Queensland Police. I was reading the story and I was thinking, oh yeah, okay, another article, another harebrained, harebrained scheme that they've come up with because recruitment has gone way down, way down. So, let's just reach into this never-ending bag of stupid ideas and pull out another little nugget. I tell you what, and I'm reading the article. I'm thinking, yep, okay, whatever. It's just another idea. That's good. We've got another idea. I don't think it's going to work. Uh, I don't think it's a good idea at all. And then I came to part of the story, and I just, wow, I thought this. I'll be honest, it made my blood boil because I think they are looking at this whole. No, it's not that they're looking. This is the kind of stuff that causes problems. I'll share with you. Let's have a look at it together, okay? And I'll explain why I think this is a bad idea. Now, I've shared before my background, obviously, as a police officer, and I was a police officer. I went from general duties, and then I went into the physical surveillance realm. So it's a quasi covert area. Um, Now, I also was actually seconded. I'm not sure if I shared this earlier. I was actually seconded to the Triple C. So we, sorry, I have to think about what I can say, what I can't say. But obviously, the Triple C, the Crime and Corruption Commission in Queensland, so you're seconded to them. You're still a police officer. You're seconded to the Triple C, and you're working as a covert surveillance officer, doing physical surveillance, working in a team. And won't go into deep detail how it all works. However, uh, you know, the Triple C look after organized crime. They look after a bit of um, anti-terrorism stuff. They, supposedly high-end value targets. Also, as the name implies, as the name suggests, they look after corruption issues. So political politicians. So just have a think back through the last decade, roughly the last just under a decade, I suppose, of politicians who have been in trouble, and I probably had a little bit to do with some stuff. Okay. Um, I won't get too much into that, but yeah, it's weird. But obviously, then with corruption, you also look at police. One thing that I thought that I noticed was that there seemed to be um, an attitude with a lot of, I won't say younger, but a lot of newer recruits that they were police while they were working, and when they're not working, they can just do whatever they want. That's what it seemed like. That's what I was picking up. I thought this seems like a weird attitude. Now, I thought that when I was a police officer, that was it. You were a police officer, and you're always a police officer. You were supposed to behave in a certain way. You were supposed to uh, have your actions, your code of conduct was not just while you had the uniform on, not just while you were working in those working hours. You're supposed to have your code of conduct should carry on through to your personal life. However, in our in my involvement with certain investigations, it dawned on me. It wasn't lost to me that the newer breed, I'll put it this way, of officer seemed to think that, they were an officer, they were a police officer while they were on duty. And you knock off, you do your shift from 7 till 3, and at 3:30, you could kind of just do whatever the heck you wanted. And I thought, and personally, I think it may have coincided with the previous the previous commissioner's decision, and I'll say, or should I say it's his decision? Oh, crikey. Well, he was there. He was the commissioner when the standards seemed to drop for whatever unknown reason, whatever unknown reason. Not because we wanted to get certain people into the force, not at all, into the service, sorry, not the force. Let's look at this article together and I'll explain to you why it just annoyed me so much. So Queensland Police look to poach new recruits from interstate and overseas. There she is. Another harebrained scheme from Katarina Carroll and this fella, Mark Ryan. Now listen, I'm going to put up a video tomorrow. I need a lot of likes and a lot of shares. We need Katarina Carroll and Mark Ryan. They both do not, neither of them deserve their jobs. She needs to be she needs to be fired. The Premier needs to know, needs to understand that she is doing a bad job, and so is Mark Ryan. Neither of them deserve the positions that they have. And the Premier needs. So I'm going to put out a video just saying this is what we need to do. They have overseen so many failures, it's been ridiculous. Anyway, let's stick to this one. So Queensland Police Service, QPS, is trying to poach new recruits from interstate, offering to pay up parts of the HECS debt of some university graduates who then go through the police academy in a bid to bolster the thin blue line. And that's because they have record amounts of officers leaving. Record amount. Because people are disenchanted. They're disenfranchised with the whole system. When you have a commissioner that comes out and the MP who oversees the police service, Mark Ryan, when you have these two people come out and just insult police, insult them by saying, you know what, you don't agree, you don't want to go along with it, you don't want to be have the Charlie Victor jab. Well, then what does it matter? We can just get new ones. That's all. You're not worth anything. Your experience isn't worth anything. We don't care about you. And don't get me wrong, we're not that insensitive. We get people are just a number. But you can't just insult that many people with that much experience and treat them like absolute rubbish and then be surprised when every month you have record numbers leaving. And then you can't even persuade people to come in, and you have to cancel recruitment drives, recruitment intakes. But they're not smart enough to see that. So going on, the $90 million recruitment drive to address police employment challenges includes a raft of incentives to lure officers to join Queensland Police, like the service paying up to $20,000 for the relocation cost of police officers from interstate or overseas. Up to 400 police recruit graduates who hold a university degree in areas such as psychology. Have you? No, I won't say anything. Psychology, criminology, social work, counseling, or social workers, or other human service related fields will be able to receive up to 20,000 paid off their HECS debts. Hey, I'm not trying to insult social workers. It's good. Let's not go there. New recruits will also receive a cost of living allowance of $183 per fortnight on top of their current recruit wage during the almost 8-month training course. Police Minister, who should not be Police Minister, he should lose his role, okay? The inept Mark Ryan said it will boost. He said a lot of things the last couple of years. None of it actually happens. Anyway, he said now that it will boost a recruit's wage to the equivalent of $52,000 per annum. A recruit. Wow, that's a significant increase and contrasts us with most other policing jurisdictions around Australia, he said. In fact, New South Wales don't even pay their recruits. That's correct. So this supports people into a full-time role into the Queensland Police Service. All accommodation costs at the state's 2 police academies will also be waived for new recruits. Man, crikey. I remember getting my Yeah, he used to pay for your accommodation at the academy, and you'd be like, "Wow, what am I?" I also went to boarding school, and I went to boarding school, and you know what? I did not expect that when I got to the academy in Brisbane, that the police academy where adults go and train to be professional police officers, it would be so much worse than the accommodation that was offered at boarding school. And I'd gone back several times since to do courses and training and stuff. And you know, they kept trying to slap lipstick on a. Oh, yeah, let's not go there. Keep going. Anyway, so all accommodations, yeah, blah blah blah. Police commissioner, also inept, Katarina Carroll, said the incentives were a game changer and it would help address employment challenges. Okay, we've never had such offerings before for people coming through the academy and into our organization. She said, we've been quite upfront that in the last several months, they haven't really been as upfront as they could be. I've got to be honest. So I've heard, that's rumors, with the labor markets, the retirements, and low attrition. It's because people don't want to work for you, Katarina, because you're not good at being the police commissioner. You've failed so many times. Anyway, she goes on to say that we have to do things very, very differently to get more people through our academy. Hey, you know what would be different, Katarina? If you took a moment to apologize to all those intelligent, experienced police officers who you just treated like muck, absolute muck, when the pandemic was around. Hey, when you told them if you don't agree, what was it? What was the phrase you said? I just don't see the problem. You just didn't see the problem. And you came out and said, the other fella, Mark Ryan, we'll just recruit new ones. Hasn't worked out. A couple of years later, you're still struggling because you treat people like rubbish. The world can see it, and they don't want to come and work for you. Every idea you have fails. Try and turn it down a little. Anyway, so they want to try and get more people in. Continuing on this article. Last year, a commission of inquiry looking at Queensland police responses to domestic violence found a failure of leadership. Failure of leadership. Yep. Allowed cultural issues within the service to fester unchecked for years. The inquiry heard evidence of racist and sexist behaviour amongst officers, including senior officials. Commissioner Carroll said QPS was implementing the inquiry's recommendations and was working to be a more inclusive and diverse organisation. Yes, inclusive and diverse, except if you don't want to go ahead and get the Charlie Victor jab. Police. Now, this is the part here that really kind of got me boiling. Police Union President Ian Levers said a lot of work had been done to offer what young people value in a job. There was a traditional campaign, and with all due respect, we looked at it, and it had police going around in helicopters in the sky, German Shepherd police dogs barking, police in laboratories. That's all good, but it doesn't resonate with the target group and the people we want to recruit. The target group. Who do they want to recruit? So we went to young people and we tested it. And what do young people care about? What do young people care about? I do wonder. Well, he says, what do they care about? They care about money and lifestyle. As a first year constable, your package will be over $100,000 a year for a 38-hour week. 7 weeks recreation leave, an RDO every 28 days, generous sick leave, and it's a job that can take you across Queensland. Now, listen, does anyone else here? Okay. Now, admittedly, like I said, I, I come from an area where you investigated corruption. You investigated people who weren't, in my, just my opinion, They weren't the brightest bunch. They seemed to have a different view of policing than I did, where I got into policing genuinely thinking it'd be a good career. I was a bit of a, I did like the thought of, I was a bit of an adrenaline junkie in some ways. I loved riding fast motorbikes. I like doing things that got the adrenaline pumping. But I also thought I would like to be able to help the community. I'd like to be able to work for the community and really get in there and help people, get down into the nitty gritty. Um, Obviously, you know, I'm, I have my own beliefs and everything, but I also thought this would be a good way to help the community, help people. Also, I'm not a fan of crime. I'm not a fan of drugs. I'm not a fan of snorting cocaine, which I say that because that seemed to be a favorite pastime of a lot of the corrupt individuals that we found. So this is my problem. That was, and it was not just me. All the other people that I'd worked with, the vast majority, they looked at it as being, look, it was a good, stable career. Uh, it had a lot of there was a lot of things, a lot of benefits about it, but it was also something that they could really work within the community, help people, uh, things that they could help uphold law and order, which is very important. But if you're going to go after people, if you think that this is the way to go, what we want to do is to find people that care about money and lifestyle. That's exactly the kind of people that we were constantly investigating when I was in the Triple C. They cared about money and lifestyle. They didn't consider themselves to be police officers once they took the uniform off. It didn't matter to them. I can't really share a lot of stories, but it seemed like there was an attitude that once they took the police uniform off, well, then it was all fine to snort cocaine. That was all good. It was all fine to go down and see their other mates, uh, and deal drugs. It was fine to be. Uh, I can't even. Oh, look, I can't get into too much stuff. But this, if you're going to target people that only care about money and lifestyle, then that is the type of person you're going to get. That is the kind of thing that gets you in trouble. Because people that only care about money and lifestyle, they don't really care about the law. They don't care about order. They don't care about helping their community. They don't care what else is going on around them and how it affects other people. They just care about themselves. So when the government says, hey, you know what? These people are sitting in a cafe and we've made rules now that say you can't sit in a cafe, so just go out and arrest them. Doesn't matter that these charges won't stand up in court in a year's time. Go out and arrest them. Well, that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get police that don't think for themselves and don't care about the community, that think that once they take off the uniform, there's nothing else that matters. They can do whatever the heck they want. I saw it with my own eyes. Ian Levers, I thought you would know better. But then I remembered it was Ian Levers. So I thought, yeah, okay. Let me know what you think. So I'm going to have some more things out about good old Katerina. Like I said, she needs to lose her job. That's all there is to it. She needs to lose her job. She does not deserve to be the police commissioner anymore. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Do you think this is a good idea? This is my opinion. Thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope.